one of the BTP practice leaders here at VASS, and at VASS we are an S4HANA global, an SAP partner. We are global. We are headquartered in Madrid with about 5,000 employees globally, offices from Singapore to all throughout Europe, Latin America, and here in North America. I specifically focus on the BTP and BDC practice, and today we're here talking about SAP Build. We do have a lab next week focused on SAP Joule and Joule agents, and we are super excited to deliver that one as well. For today's lab, you're going to be using SAP Build. SAP Build is the application suite, the portfolio of applications within SAP BTP that allows you to build and extend applications for your SAP ecosystem. Now, when I talk about extending apps throughout the SAP ecosystem, what I mean is this is SAP Build is for building custom standalone applications, extensions for S4, extensions for field service management, sales cloud, service cloud, all sorts of different SAP components. So we can use SAP Build either in a low-code solution or in a pro-code solution to deploy, again, across the enterprise. Today, we're focused on Business Application Studio today, which is a blend of low-code and pro-code. We will be using the user interface. We will be using the code interface as well, but don't worry, no coding is required. We will be providing sample code for everybody to use. And yes, Shiva, great question. I will share the link to the class for next week as well. Now, we're using SAP Build today in the VASS tenant. Everybody here on the phone call today will have a VASS user ID given to you. You'll be logging into our tenant, which is connected to an S4 system that you will connect to live data. Okay. Now, one thing that's important to know is Joule for Developers, which is what we're using today, is free until Q3 2026. You can learn about activating it here. I'm also going to talk about how to activate and what I did as well in this lab in order to prepare for everyone here to use SAP Build to deploy applications. Now, what does SAP Build allow me to do? It allows me to develop apps, create extensions. It allows me to automate workflows. In my opinion, it's a much better workflow tool than the traditional workflow in ERP or S4. I can create skills and agents, and I can design digital workspaces. Today, you will be using Joule to generate an application. You will generate a data model, you will generate services, and you will generate a UI. We actually generate 2 UI today. And so we're going to teach you how to use Joule inside of Business Application Studio to generate an application. We will then manually add an S4 API, and then we will generate a UI over that S4 API. So we're giving you a good blend of multiple scenarios within one lab session. Next, so we're using SAP Build as what you see on the screen here. Last week, we ran a lab for SAP Build process automation where we processed a PDF document and posted that document to S4. So if you want access to that replay, please message in the chat. Say, I would like the replay for business process automation, or just let me know what quickly. And our marketing team will send you a video for the build process automation lab that we ran, and we will send you the lab instructions. Next, we have Joule Skills and Joule Agents. Joule Skill Builder available today, part of SAP Build. Agent Builder coming soon. We will get there. It hasn't been released yet, but today we do have the Joule Skill Builder. And again, I will send the registration link for that lab for next week, where again, you are going to get hands-on inside of our tenant and build a Joule skill. And then lastly, one thing that you need to remember is that when you're building an app or a Joule skill, you can obviously build an app and deploy it on BTP, but the best place to deploy it is WorkZone. And when you buy an SAP Build user license or developer license, you get WorkZone standard included with that. Now, obviously, the best place to find out more details about licensing is the content, the SAP Discovery Center. But again, think of SAP WorkZone as the Fiori launchpad in the cloud, where I can add business process automations, I can add document AI, I can add Fiori apps, I can add Joule skills, all there inside of like I said, a Fiori launchpad in the cloud. But most importantly, if you're still an S4 on-premise customer or an ERP customer, you can deploy WorkZone in BTP, give it to your end users, and give them access to Joule. So Joule is accessible through WorkZone. It's actually pretty heavily integrated in WorkZone. And what customers don't know is that behind the scenes for Joule, WorkZone's always there. So I think WorkZone will be a part of every SAP landscape in the future. Next, I want to talk about, just because I get questions about it, today we're not doing ABAP AI, but I wanted to let you know that ABAP AI for Joule is included in that free developer scenario. I've listed here the SKU that you would need to order from your SAP account executive, and Joule's ABAP AI capabilities, which are limited to S/4HANA Public Cloud and S/4HANA Private Cloud 2025 and above, are available to customers for free as well. Unfortunately, it's not available for your on-prem environments today. Everybody's asking about this, but ultimately, if you are a RISE customer or a GROW customer, you can get access to ABAP AI capabilities. Now, I am moving quickly because I want to get into the lab, but talking about BTP, I want to make sure everyone here joining this lab today knows what do they need in order to get started using Joule for developers, Joule and SAP Build today. And the only license you need is SAP Build Developer. It's $45 US per user per month. And that license entitles you, a user, to log in and begin building an SAP Build automations, business process automations, Joule skills, or today what we're doing is we're generating a Fiori app. And so SAP Build Developer is a license. It's $45 per developer per month, list price. If you have an enterprise agreement, you're more than likely getting a discount on that price. Now, in terms of the app, deploying it to a user, that licensing depends on where you deploy it. If you deploy that app to, let's say, your on-prem environment, then there would be no user license cost. If you want to deploy that app to, let's say, a WorkZone Launchpad, you'd have to buy an SAP Build license for users, which is $3 per user per month. So again, they're depending on your deployment scenario, you have different costs. But to get started, I need a SAP IaaS tenant, identity authentication, a cloud connector if you're working with an on-premise system, a BTP enterprise agreement, and I need an SAP Build developer license, and I only need one to get started. At a high level, the architecture that we're looking at today is we're focused over here in SAP Build, and we're specifically working in SAP Build apps and Build code today. That is connected to Cloud Transport Management. So you can imagine if you're implementing a standard software development lifecycle, you would have three or at a minimum two SAP Build tenants, one for dev, one for QA. And then if you're using business process automation, different other components of SAP Build, you might need a production SAP Build tenant as well. Joule is also SDLC based, meaning I need one Joule activation for dev, for QA, and production. So Joule will be part of our lives for the foreseeable future, whether you're using standard Joule functions or custom Joule skills or Joule agents. You will have, again, if you have a standard dev QA prod, you're going to have three Joule tenants or three sub-accounts with three Joule activations. So you need three of everything. It keeps us basis people employed. Now, in terms of setting up Build, yes, you can go try to do it manually, but we highly, highly recommend that you leverage the SAP Cloud Integration Automation Service. This is a free app on SAP BTP. You activate the service on Service Marketplace. It is a no-charge application. And when you activate SAP Cloud Integration Automation, you'll get essentially a browser-based wizard that allows you to automate the setup of SAP Build. And I'll live demo this here shortly. So it's a free app. We can automate. We can pause and resume our tasks at any time, so we can leave at the end of the day and pick up the next day right where we left off. And there's detailed logging of all the activities that you completed, didn't complete, or need to complete, or had errors. Now, I want to quickly show you that application because I do think it is very important. So I'm signing into my BTP environment. Today, you don't have access to this because, again, there's not really a point to it in the lab, but I wanted to show what it looks like. So inside of SAP BTP, I'm in a sub-account in Amazon US East, and I have gone to the Service Marketplace. I activated the cloud integration automation, right? I hit create. I've already done this, so you don't need to. And what that does is it creates an application that when you launch it, it supports your technical administrators, your BTP architects, your the basis people, developers in deploying different BTP functionality. Now, I'm focused today on SAP Build, but you can see there are numerous. If you're using S/4HANA Private Cloud and you want to know how to set up Joule, there's a wizard for that. We're focused on SAP Build, and inside of this application, it's going to automate, the enablement of Cloud Foundry, the creation of a space, the trust with IaaS, disabling default IDP, activating work zone standard, right? We do need that. Activating build apps, activating build process automation. So this is the best place for you all, for anybody that's interested in setting up SAP Build. This application is the single place that I use, my team uses when activating SAP Build in a customer environment. Now, that is not the only thing you need to do. Remember, Joule Base is free for all customers. And so even if you're on-premise, even if you're ERP, if you have a BTP EA, BTP Enterprise Agreement, pay-as-you-go agreement, you can activate Joule Base and just use Joule and BTP. You do need to go to the SAP store. You do need to click Start Now, Add to Cart. It is a $0 fee. And this Joule entitlement will be added to your global account so that you can start to use Joule in your global account. This doesn't mean it's available on-premise or in S4. It just means you're activating and you're accepting the terms and conditions of SAP for Joule Base. Every single customer needs to do this. Frequently asked questions. Do I need to buy AI units? I think there was some confusion earlier in the year that I needed to buy AI units, and the answer is no, you do not. AI units are not utilized by SAP Build, Business Application Studio, or Business Process Automation. You only need to purchase the SAP Build developer license. That's it. If you are interested in knowing what AI units are used for, they are used for the premium AI solutions, so customer experience, premium AI, financial insights, premium AI, supply chain insights, premium AI. Those are separate solutions. AI units are also used for document grounding and document AI. So again, last week in my document AI lab, we were using an LLM to extract data from documents, and we needed AI units. Today, we're building a Fiori app. Can I run that Fiori app only on BTP? And the answer is no. You can generate a Fiori UI in SAP Build and export and import as a transport in your S/4HANA system. That is 100% a capability. If you wanted to run that app on BTP, we recommend SAP WorkZone. Integrates with SAP Identity, integrates with on-premise identity, integrates with your on-premise roles and profiles, your Fiori catalogs on-premise, so you can have a seamless user experience where that user logs into a single WorkZone launchpad and they can connect to both custom apps you've built on BTP and to their on-premise apps, all from one WorkZone launchpad. Typically, another question I get is, how long does it take to activate Build? Security, right? Security is always the long pole in the tent. Once you get SAP's identity authentication service connected to your corporate IDP and identity authentication working correctly, Build activation should take no longer than 1 to 1.5 days. Today in my lab, you are going to connect to an S/4HANA cloud system, and it is a live data connection. This connection also works to S/4HANA Private Cloud, S/4HANA on-premise. You would set up the destination in BTP. Your basis administrators should know how to do this. If you don't know how to do this, guess what? There's a wizard for it in Cloud Integration Automation, SAP Cloud Connector Configuration with Principal Propagation. Very difficult task to do manually, and there's a wizard for it in Integration Automation Service. So we configure that destination with, if it's a cloud connector, you would point it towards a cloud connector. Today in our lab, we're actually using SAML assertion. So that means your user ID is a user ID on S4. We are not using a service account. We are not using a technical user. We are not we're doing this in a real world scenario, because when you build and deploy an app, you want to make sure that app is connecting to S4 as the user that's running the app, not as a technical service account. We are also exposing that destination in BTP to SAP Build, and that's where we have these required parameters, these additional properties. Again, if you're using Cloud Integration Automation, you'll be informed about this. If you look at SAP Help, it has that information, that as well. Now, in order for Joule to be accessible in SAP Build, I do also need to run the Joule Booster. Now, in my lab environment, I've already run the Joule Booster, and you can see here when you're setting up Joule, it will prompt you and say, hey, these are all the applications you have configured. Where do you want Joule integrated? In my world, in my lab, you can see I chose to activate Joule for business process automation, for WorkZone, and for HANA Cloud. In a future life, I will activate Joule for Analytics Cloud. I will activate Joule for Sales and Service Cloud and Signavio. All of those are in early release, soon to be released by the end of the year. So the Joule Booster is what enables, so you've accepted the Joule base subscription and you've added it to your account, and then you're activating Joule. And what that looks like is, let's go ahead and quickly show you. When your SAP Build tenant is correctly configured, you will see Business Process Automation, Build Apps, Build Application Studio, WorkZone, and you will see Joule subscribed. You can see it was very recent for me, only 27 days ago. So this is very fresh. I've gone through this, I've activated this. If you have questions about that activation, please post them in the chat or shoot us an email after the webinar. Again, when you run that Joule Booster, you can see that it's directly tying Joule into those systems that you've chosen it to be. If you don't have S4HANA Cloud, that's fine. You would just see Build WorkZone and Build Process Automation in here. Now, focused on our lab, we will be generating a Fiori app from a wireframe. This is a very neat concept where I want to be able to support my business users, support my project teams, take an idea from a business user, and within 30 minutes or less, just like Domino's, within 30 minutes, take a photo or a picture of a wireframe and generate a Fiori application from an image. I also like to provide a little bit of text in the prompt because sometimes, Joule doesn't know how to interpret everything I'm trying to do. For example, when I have a column here that says more and I have little ticks here, it may not know what that means. And so we will provide a narrative prompt in addition to an image in our lab today. But legitimately, you can take a wireframe, pass the image to Joule inside of SAP Build, and it will generate the app for us. You will be doing this today. I'll do a quick pause right now for any questions about what I've talked about very quickly. Now, again, we have the recording and the transcript. You will have access to that, but I'll pause here. If you want to come off mute or if you want to post questions in the chat, please let me know right now. Is audio and speed good? And does anybody have any questions? Well, I'm hoping I didn't put anybody to sleep. I do talk fast. And please do interrupt in chat if you have questions or come off mute and let me know. You're not being rude. Absolutely here to help. All right. In our lab today, you're going to log on to SAP Build. We're going to go to a dev space. We're going to effectively create a full stack project using an AI prompt and image that will call Joule. We will have an app generated. We're going to edit, modify, review the app. We're going to connect it to live S4 system. You're going to explore the app before and after. So it's a very detailed hands-on lab. I would say that if you've never used a cloud-based integrated development environment or a cloud-based IDE before, the most difficult part of the lab is knowing where to click. I'm doing everything I can in my instructions. I'm doing everything in my lab instructions to, help you know where to click. I will be showing this on screen. So you can choose to just watch me on screen and then later complete the lab on your own. You will have between now and Monday of next week to complete this lab. So you can watch me today and then come back and complete the lab on your own, or you can try to follow along as I go. I will drive to a completion here at the correct time at 11:30, and so I'm going to keep moving through the lab. You're welcome to put me on mute if you want, if it's distracting, and work through the lab on your own, and then come back to the channel if you have questions. But again, I will do that, and we will give everybody user IDs. Your user ID will be a lab user and then a number 030405 at vasscompany.com. That is your user ID. We are using an IAS tenant where we log in via email with an email address. So everybody here will be assigned a lab user, and I will do that here shortly. Your password is right here. The password is in the Word document. The password is also in GitHub. I will post the GitHub link as well in the chat, along with the documentation, the lab exercises, etc. That's all in GitHub. You will have a folder for every user that you see here. Okay, so you'll have a folder for lab user 03 through 25, however many people we have. So I just want to let you know there. And then we have direct links to all the apps we're using as well today. Those are also in the lab instructions that you will see. Ask questions in chat. We'll try to get to them as soon as we can. I will lead the demo live. Interrupt if you feel like you aren't getting support. If you have questions, I've listed 3 of my colleagues, or myself and 2 colleagues here. Please email us if you have questions. All right, assignment of lab users. Alejandro, you're going to be, I'm just making sure I have no duplicates. Alejandro, you're going to be lab user 03. Cesar Sanchez, you're going to be a lab user 04. Diane, you're going to be lab user 05. George, you are lab user 6. Joan, you are going to be lab user 7. Leland, you are lab user 8. Krishna Mohan, you are going to be lab user 9. Nelson, you are lab user 10. Pramnath, you're going to be, sorry, bad spelling and bad pronunciation, I apologize. You're going to be lab user 11. Rohit, you are lab user 12. Shilpa, you are lab user 13. And Shiva, you are lab user 14. I will paste this in the chat now, so everybody has access to their lab user information. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to send you all my lab instructions. I'm going to paste some links though real quick. Let's see. Oh, let me paste the GitHub link in the chat real quick. We're going to get started here shortly. All right, in GitHub, just to let everybody know, when you want to browse, just to show you how to browse this, you're going to click on the SAP Build Fiori app. That's what we're doing today. You have a folder for every user. So I'm going to be lab user 01 today. You have a picture, a prompt, and a service file in here. We do need this later in life. So just to let you know, at the bottom, you have the PDF for the lab instructions that you can download. I do recommend downloading it. You also have today's PowerPoint presentation is also in a PDF in the folder. I do recommend downloading it. And then I do have a folder with additional wireframes if you want to practice with additional apps. Again, a wireframe can be a picture on a piece of paper if you want, as long as it's clearly written, you can use it. So in your lab user today, I already have an app that we kind of built in Excel, and we pasted it into the folder. Going to now lab instructions. Let me get that over to everybody. 1 second. I'm going to give you the Word document because I want to make sure you're able to just really have access to the best of everything. So you not only have the PDF, but you also have the lab instructions in Word. I'm almost there. I'm sharing the link. All right, I've shared the GitHub link. I've shared the Word document. If I could get a quick thumbs up, if you are able to validate that you are able to A, get to GitHub, B, you have the Word instructions or the PDF instructions. I just want to make sure everybody has the instructions before I get started. I saw 1 thumbs up, I think. I need more. All right, got a couple. Got a couple. Question per month, yes. If you want to come off mute, you can, or maybe that was just a thumbs up as well. All right, that was a thumbs up. Good, 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 good. All right. The first step in our lab today is to get you logged in. So let me log out just to show you the login process. So you can click the link. A couple things, everybody. I don't want your user IDs to get cached like mine just did. Let me sign out again. I have created a Chrome profile for this. You could use incognito as well. So just want to let you know that that is a capability that Chrome has to create a profile, to create a new set of cookies and password management. So you're going to log in as your lab user. Do not log in as me. Don't try to trick the teacher. Go ahead and log in as yourself. After you log in, you're going to click on Dev Space Manager from the upper right. And you're going to create a new dev space as your user, lab user 01, and you're going to say full stack application using productivity tools. So I'd love everybody to be logged in and creating a dev space. And again, I navigated to the space by clicking the icons on the upper right and clicking Dev Space Manager. I'm creating my dev space, and it'll take 1 to 2 minutes to create. If we're all doing it at the same time, I'm sure it'll take 3 to 4 minutes. But everybody should be creating a space, a cloud-based development environment for you to begin building your app. So it is a container. It's a container within BTP holding your developed objects in a private space that you would deploy from later. But for now, we're just working in our own private little dev space. So mine still says starting. I hope everybody else is either starting or started. Mine says running, which is good. When it's running, you click on the space itself, the lab, for me, lab user 01, to go ahead and get started. In the lab instructions, we are now on step, we completed step 13, and we are now on page 4, where we are going to prepare our prompt our our prompt for the AI for Joule, and adding our image. The very first thing we do is we're going to click the file. Well, it looks like you can take a survey from SAP if you want first, but we're going to go ahead and click the file icon, and we're going to hit open folder, and we're going to go to projects folder and hit OK. We're going to click back into the projects folder by clicking the file explore button. We're going to create a folder called inputs. And what we're doing here is we're creating a folder in this cloud environment where we are going to store a markdown file for our AI prompt. This is the part that, believe it or not, of all the parts in the lab, this is the piece where a lot of people get stuck because the UI is just not that great. So inside here under inputs, when I click on it, you can see the caret kind of opens. It's kind of like a folder. I'm going to click the add button, and I believe I call it prompt.markdown. Hit enter. Let's double check myself. Yes, prompt.markdown. I'm on step 15. And in my newly created markdown file, I want to take the text out of the GitHub prompt file. That way we're moving through this quickly. So I have a prompt here that I've already written for you. I'm going to copy it out, and I'm going to paste it into my markdown file that you see on my screen here in my dev workspace. If you get a prompt for Joule Code Assistant, that's okay. Hit OK. Next, and again, this is where people get hung up. I need to grab that JPEG image and drop it into this folder. So the first thing you need to do is download the image from the, you're going to download this image from GitHub. So I'm going to hit download raw file. I can see it's called Quick Display Sales App. I'm going to find where that image is. I've downloaded it. Please ignore me navigating through my folders. And effectively what you do is on your file system, you're going to click on the file and you're going to drag and drop it into the folder. Now you need to make sure it is in the input folder, and you can see I missed it. So mine's not even in the folder. I have to make sure you drag and drop it into the input folder so it's in that folder. Super important. So when I close the folder, I don't see anything. When I open the folder, I see the two files there. I'll pause here for any questions, complaints. Can go in chat if I'm if I'm going too fast. Again, I'll pause here for questions if there are any. Now, if anybody is actually out there reading the prompt, you can see it seems like a pretty normal thing. You know, I want a quick sales order display. You could be building a custom app that doesn't talk to SAP. You could be building a custom app that maybe you want to build your own data model for QA inspections, and you just want people to be able to take pictures of product and measurements and record them in a simple app. That could be done here. Let's say you want to extend and blend data from SAP and non-SAP. You could do that here as well. So the prompt, though, is generating the UI. The prompt is not generating the connectivity to S4. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But the prompt is generating a service on BTP that supports a Fiori app on BTP in this case. But the backend, all the way the backend integration with S4, we actually have to do that manually. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later in the lab. So I'm hoping everybody has the input folder now where I have correctly pasted in, and you can see the path here to the picture. This is the reason why that picture needs to be in that inputs folder. Otherwise, the AI will not see the picture when you send it the prompt. So I've passed step 27, 28, where, you know, on page 6 of the Word document, we have, you know, drag and drop the image into the folder. We've triple checked our layout. Perfect. Next, we're going to create a folder for our project. So I don't keep my inputs into the same folder as my project. And the reason why is they can get overwritten. So we're going to create a new folder, and we're going to call it Lab User 01 for in my case, app. It can be whatever you want, mixed case, uppercase, lowercase, doesn't matter. And make sure we're clicked on projects up top. It keeps putting the app in the wrong folder, everybody. So it happens to me, it happens to you. Let me go ahead and back up a folder. Let's see. Let me delete that. Finally, all right. I had to hit the escape button. Again, the UI is terrible. So I have two folders now, an input folder and a lab user folder. Per my instructions, I want to hit File, Open Folder, and go to that newly created app folder. So click on the hamburger icon, File, Open Folder. I'm navigating to Projects, Lab User App, hit OK. I now have an empty folder with nothing in it, from which we will use Joule to generate an app. So when you open your blank folder, it'll come up with a storyboard that is empty. The project overview is not available, and it's prompting you to create a project. Do not click Create Project. Go immediately to Joule. When we go to Joule, we can see we have an option called Fiori Gen Spec App. Generate a SAP Fiori Elements application. We click on that, and we have to enter a short sentence of telling it that we want to build a Fiori app in order to get to the next step of the AI generation tool that SAP has built for us. So in my lab, I say I just want to create a Fiori app to display sales orders quickly. Natural language, send the command to Joule. Joule says, hey, the best way to do this is with our project accelerator. I'll pause here to see if anybody has any questions, if anybody's struggling with folder navigation, if any questions at all. And again, you will have this lab for 3 business days. So today through Monday. All right, and I'm not seeing any hands raised. I think we're good. All right, so what I did is I deleted the text out of business requirements, and that allows me to hit the Choose File button. Next, I'm going to hit Choose File, and at the very top, I'm going to backspace until I can see other folder names. I'm going to go to I'm going to navigate to my prompt.markdown file, and it loads the markdown file as my business requirement, and at the bottom, unfortunately, it messes up the path for the picture. You have to correct it, but it should say home user projects input and then the image. I detail this inside of my lab instructions, including that quirky little bug where you have to fix the path. It is what it is. I don't work for SAP. I just use it. Now, at this stage, we've given Joule our prompt and our image that we want for the app we want it to generate. I am now ready to click that generate button. Here, it is generating the CAP, Cloud Application Programming Model, using the LLM. It is 8 steps, and this process can take anywhere between 2 and 3 minutes. Once you get through the lab, you can create new folders. We created the folder called Lab User App. You could create another folder called App02 or App2. Make sure it's a blank folder. Call Joule. Try out your own wireframes. Draw one on a whiteboard and paste it in. Get with a colleague at work. Get an idea for an app from them. Draw it in PowerPoint. Paste it in, give it a try. You all are here using our lab today, using my lab instructions, but you are more than welcome to use this time to maybe generate a Fiori app, something you're thinking about or working on. Now on the lower right, it says the project has been generated and is available. And it immediately opened what's called a page map on the right. So I have Joule, I have my project accelerator, I have a page map all open, and I'm ready to start work. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to close all of the windows and go to what's called the project overview and reopen the storyboard. This works well to just kind of refresh the view. So I'm going to close the page map. I'm going to close the project accelerator. I'm closing this storyboard. I'm navigating on the lower left to project overview, clicking the three dots and hitting open storyboard. So my AI, our prompt to Joule generated a data model, a service, and a UI application, right? It generated all this. In our lab instructions, we're going to play with some data for our app real quick. We're going to click on sales order headers and hit set data. It generated some data for us. We can hit the enhance button. If you get a warning about data can only be saved and all mandatory fields are saved, don't worry about it. Just a small bug that popped up in my lab this week. Don't worry, just close it out. But we're going to hit the enhance button. And I think this is an important something to highlight. Joule generated the app. Joule can also generate test data for us. And so here, I'm pasting in a prompt. Oops. Let me hit the enhance button again. All right. I'm going to paste in this prompt of create sample data with meaningful data for the last month with at least 25 sales documents. Pasting it in. Customer name should be less than 20 characters, including spaces. Order date should be random for October 2025. Values for overall status include open, in process, in transit, and invoiced. Natural language. It is going to generate more test data for me in my app based on that prompt. A very cool capability of, again, when I'm prototyping an app, demoing an app to a business user, they want to see what it might look like and feel like. I can have Joule generate the app and I can have Joule generate test data. A very cool capability. When Joule generates data, it says, I made changes to this file. Do you accept? Click accept. And over here on the right, you can see more test data was added. Very cool capability. I accidentally clicked back. I apologize. Let me reopen what I was doing. All right, I'm back on my storyboard. And now we're going to run our app, but we need to configure how it runs. And so the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on Run Configuration on the left. And everybody, I just want to say, my lab is either amazing or everybody's not asking questions and they have questions. So if you have questions, please do ask. I'm here to support you. Just let me know. We're going to create a run config for our app. We're going to select this up here. It's called a cap node project. We're going to accept the default name. And in this, we have to kind of define what's happening in the app. We're going to do dummy authentication, no authentications needed. We're going to leave events the same, and we're going to generate a page preview before we run the app. So again, database is set to local, authentication is dummy. We don't change anything in events, and we have preview page here. In our lab instructions, we are on page 12, where we are setting these options. Moving on to click run, again, at the bottom of page 12 of the instructions. So we are running our app for the very first time here. All we did is input a prompt, input an image, generated some test data, and I'm clicking the play button. And within 5 minutes, I'm running a Fiori app. That's a prototype. Pretty cool scenario. I get this preview page that kind of lets me know the services on the right and the app on the left. When I click on the app on the left, I get my app. I can hit the go button and I get that dummy data that I generated, the 25. Here I can sort, I can filter, I can adjust my columns, I can look at overall status, all capabilities here inside this application. Really neat. It generated a Fiori list app for me based on SAP's available floor plans, Fiori floor plans, and it built the app for me. I think this is cool. I'm hoping everybody here thinks this is cool. Maybe I'm just a nerd. All right, so I generated a Fiori app based on an image, and it worked. I previewed it. I'm going to click the stop button because I want the app to stop because we're going to make more changes to this app. I'm going back to my storyboard. And for those following along, and I can't believe I have no questions yet. For those following along, we verified the app data, and now we're going to edit the app with Joule. And we're going to say, hey, you know what? I forgot to add a field. I want to add delivery status to the data model, and I want to send this command to Joule so that Joule will make the edits and we can generate more test data. So we're going to click on the Joule button. We're going to click on Cap Edit Model, just as my lab instruction says. We're going to paste in our prompt, add delivery status. And it looks like I pasted too much. Correct that. So we're going to add delivery status to the data model. And Joule's going to say, oh, well, if you add it to the data model, you got to add it to the service file as well, right? And so we're going to hit accept. We're going to hit proceed on any changes. It says, hey, we detected manual changes. Well, Joule's making changes. Now when I click on the data for sales order header, I can see I have a new column called delivery status over here on the right. I'm going to hit enhance the data again. And oops, I'm going too fast. We're not editing data yet. Sorry about that. What we're going to do is edit the app to display that new field. Okay, so we're going to hit open page map. I have the list report up top. I'm clicking the change pencil. So I've opened my page map. I'm clicking the change pencil, and I'm going to add that new field to the filter bar. And there it is right there, delivery status. Cool, so now I can filter on delivery status. And in columns, it's not there as well. If I want, I can add that field to the basic columns, so the default columns that show up inside of that as well. Added that as well. So delivery status is now in the Fiori app. Once I've added that, I've added it to the table view. I'm on page 15. If I want, I can edit the app title and app description at this stage as well. Totally optional, up to you. But again, I want to enhance the data so that I get good data for my deliveries now. So going back to my page map, if I want to edit the text, I can. So I can call it AI generated sales order display as an example. Doesn't matter, you can name it anything. But continuing on with the demo data editor, now I'm ready to go ahead and enhance the delivery status column because it's blank. I'm adding in delivery statuses, giving that prompt to Joule. right? Cap edit data. It's thinking about that. When I hit accept, I want everybody to notice, check out this. When it said invoiced, it set the delivery status to delivered. When it says in process or in transit, it put different statuses. Oh, it's not so clever here. It has open and shipped. Never mind. It wasn't clever on that one. So that's going to be some bad data that I would need to correct it. And I could use the cap edit data to correct that. To say, hey, when overall status is open, set it to open in delivery status. If it's in transit, it's shipped. If it's open, it can also be in picking, etc. So you can edit your Joule prompt there as you're enhancing the data. But we're good enough to move forward here. Now we're going to run our app one more time, and we're just going to view that new column we added and validate everything that we've done. Be mindful of any pop-up blockers when you click the run button. If it's a new browser or an incognito browser, it might block a pop-up. If it does block a pop-up, you can hold down your shift or command button and click on that local host URL, and it will open the app for you as well. But here's that new name, right? AI generated sales order display. If I click on it, I can see I have delivery status now available on the header. And I also have overall status here. I can remove, let's say, order date and just look at delivery status. Oh, it's adding it below here to the net value. Oh, I didn't add it. Where do we? Oh, there it is. Delivery status. So you can see it added. It's wrapping around. Apologies on my browser. It's doing that today. But we have the AI generated app. We added more test data. We added a field. We're going to stop now. And this is the part of the lab coming up, which is the most complex part of the lab. And it is the one probably most people are interested in, and that is adding an S4 live connection to your app. Now, I want to highlight back on my storyboard, you can see on my storyboard, there is a Joule icon on data model, on services, and UI. There is not a Joule icon on external resources. Joule will not add this for you. This is a developer that needs to do this. So I think this is where we move into the pro code environment where I need a developer. From here, I'm going to click the add button on external services. I'm going to add a path to a service on the system called S4HANA Dev. I'm pasting the path in, making sure I have no spaces, and I'm hitting connect. This is reading live data from that S4HANA system. Yes, it is a brand new system with sales order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know it looks funny, but that is real. And sold to party is there, sales org, distribution channel, etc. Right? So real data inside of the API. I'm specifically looking at sales order, and I'm going to click add to project. It is adding S4HANA service to the CAP project. This can take anywhere between 1 to 2 minutes before the wheel kind of goes away. When the thinking wheel goes away and you'll see S4HANA Dev, that's great. We're going to click on the service, open graphical modeler. For those following along in the guide, we are on page 19, and we are adding what's called a projection. We're going to drag and drop it on the canvas. We're unchecking enable draft, set as redirection target, and we're selecting sales order header. You could do header and item, you can do all sorts of things, but right now we're just keeping it basic in this lab. We're just pulling sales order header information. I'm unchecking the all button because I don't need all the fields. I'm going to select sales order, but I'm gonna select it and I'm gonna rename it to kind of match what I've got in my model. So sales order is going to be sales document. Sold to party is going to be customer. And I've listed all the fields in our Word document, page 19, spanning 19 and 20. Creation date as order date. And again, you're free to choose any fields you want. It will not impact the lab moving forward. You're free to choose whatever you like. Total net amount as net value. Overall SD processing status as overall status. Lots of fields in this API. Overall delivery status as, what did I call it? Delivery status. Once we've added all the fields, we'll click the OK button. We'll close this panel here, and we're going to click on our projection. I have the projection here on my mouse. We're going to hit Add Logic. We're going to hit on the sales order service that we've, this connection to the sales order API. We're going to hit the Add button. We're going to accept the defaults. We're going to hit Add. This can take, I've clicked the Add button. There is no thinking or there's no spinning wheel, but it is thinking. Just click it once. Takes 30 seconds. I'm going to set it to on and read. It thinks about it for a minute, for a couple seconds. Then we're going to hit Open Code Editor. Now, Joule can edit the logic. I have already done this for you because it took it's a developer required for this part. So this is the pro code part. And in your folder in GitHub, you have a service.js file. You need to copy the code out of that file and paste it in to the service file, the service.js file inside of your IDE. Just copy paste, works perfectly. Click the close button. Click the close button on editor. As soon as I copy that in there, it works perfectly. You can validate by going to service and seeing that service.js and see that code there, right? So going back to my lab instructions, we added logic, we accepted defaults, we opened the code editor, and then we pasted in the updated code inside of that. We closed the tabs, just like you saw me. We are now back at our storyboard, and you can see now the external resource is directly linked to the sales order entity of the service quick order display service. We're going to use Joule to add a UI for this new service. So we have like a proxy service, right? The sales order service is going all the way back to the S/4HANA to get data. When I click on the Joule button, let me get rid of that prompt, that old prompt that was in there. And we're going to use this prompt called add UI. And then we're going to say, add a Fiori list page app for the service for entity. Okay. So the service is quick order display. The entity is called sales order. When I hit generate, Joule will generate a Fiori application. Oh, live demo always gets me. Let's try it again. Click out, click back. slash add UI. Copy our text in again. Hit enter. All right, we generating Fiori Elements application. So it's again, AI, just based on a natural language prompt, is generating a Fiori list page. And again, I know the Fiori apps. You have list page, object page, entry page, analytical page, overview page. These are all standard SAP Fiori layouts in the Fiori toolkits. And you can see here, it says your Fiori project files were generated for lab user app. The spinning wheel is here. Go ahead and give it 60 seconds. Go ahead and give it 60 seconds to stay there. Thank you for the team members that have stuck with me during this lab. I appreciate it. You will have access to the video, you have access to the instructions, and you have access to complete this lab over the next 3 days. Now, we go back to, we have that list. Now we have a page generated for that sales order list. We can click edit if we want. You can see the filter bar has no fields. Let's go ahead and add the fields. And we're going to add the columns to the table as well. I think it's missing one column here, delivery status. That's fine. We are effectively on page 24, almost done. And we're going to run our app here shortly. All right, so delivery status, it's all added there. Perfect. I can return to the page map. The app title here is sales order list. I'm going to say sales order list from S4, just to let everybody know that's where it's coming from. We click on our run configuration. We have that run configuration already up here still, right? So it's still there, but we're going to change it again. So authentication is dummy. The database is local. Authentication is dummy. Data, we want to use live data, and we want to use the destination and the path. Verify that. Event, nothing changes. And yes, we want to generate a preview page for our app. All right, so we're going to go ahead and the biggest change here is OData, right? We want live data. Once you've set those settings, it's already updated, so you can click run. Now, we added some capabilities here. We're adding connectivity to S4. It's adding all the components to our project that we need. When you run it this time, it's going to it'll take a 60 seconds. There's our new app, that new UI that we generated. Sales order list from S4. I can hit go, and you can see now I have sales order, sold to party, created on net value, or in the statuses. And everybody here knows this is real live data because yes, that's the status. You would have to enhance the app to go get status codes so it knows that A is open and B is in process and C is confirmed, as an example, right? So sales order number 1 is complete. The app does need adjusting, but again, a non-developer like me, I am able to add an API from S4. And again, you can click on the OData service button and actually see the OData values coming through. So we have an OData v4 service connecting to S4, proxying that connection back. That's what this OData v4 service is used by the app. So we have a Fiori app, we have services we can look at, we have table previews that are also available. Um, all within, you know, SAP Build using Joule. A non-developer like me, I've never developed typically anything in my life. I am a basis person at heart. We built the app together today. So we tested our app, we validated it, we have completed the lab. Inside of our presentation today, I also have our email and our contact information, and I have some great places to find more information. The lab today is supported by this 11-part video series on YouTube by SAP Developer Channel, which is great. SAP Developers has a free build code complex example. That's what we ran through today. Devtoberfest, great YouTube channel for Devtoberfest. All the Joule commands that are available, right? All the slash commands, great blog listing those, and then SAP's guidance on prompts. So I do welcome everybody to send us an email if you have questions, need more time. In the lab, again, you have 3 days to access this. We have roughly 15 minutes left, but I will go ahead and hang out here if anybody has any questions or would like to share their status, share scenarios, what if, how to, please do let me know. Krishna, because you joined the meeting, Microsoft Teams will automatically make the recording available to you to view. And yes, in an email, post-event email, we will also include a link to the video for download. Great question. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, can you also try the other exercises? Yeah, in the folder for Document AI, those exercises are still available. I am running a class for Document AI next Monday, so you can run through that lab between now and Monday as well. Oh, yeah, let me find the registration link for the next lab. So the next lab link is in the chat. And just to pull it up in my browser, you can see here, it's the SAP Build Discovery Days for us. And we're running sessions for these three. And we also have a Spanish version, if you're interested. Fantastic, everybody. I'm going to end the call if there's no more questions. I'm super appreciative for your time. I'm super appreciative of you joining today. It always is fun sharing all of this neat technology. And thank you again. Please let us know if you have any questions via email. We're here to support.